Holy Trinity Church here in the centre of Coventry is trying to raise money for a new church organ. Chris Howard, chairman of the Development Trust at Holy Trinity, is organising free lunchtime recitals for locals in a bid to raise the staggering number of £600,000.
We had an old organ which had been in the church from 1860 to about the year 2000, but it wasn't a brilliant organ. It was serving its purpose, but it was getting worse and worse. We did discover a wonderful organ, a better organ than this church has ever had, in a disused church which has just been closed up in Lee in Greater Manchester. To have it moved from there and installed in the church will take us another well over 500,000 and approaching £600,000. Take out a standing order. If it's only for £1 a week, because and they give us a standing order for 4 years, it shows they've got commitment to it. The aim is to get it here by 2021, which would be the year of the City of Culture for Coventry, but also it would be the 100th anniversary of the organ being built in 1921, so the organ would be 100 years old. I've got a colleague who's done the same down in Gosport, and he'd done a series of free recitals, and he found he was getting bigger audiences by having them free and asking for donations at the end.
Agnes Wan, a pianist and a lecturer from the US, visited Coventry during her European tour and performed at one of the free recitals organised by Chris Howard. She speaks of her love for music and challenges she had to face.
It was probably around 12 that I decided that I wanted to go to college for music, and I wanted to teach at a university, and also wanted to play, to perform more. I wasn't thinking about a big, career or anything, but I enjoyed playing for people. So I thought that is what I wanted to do, and to convince my parents that I can also make enough money to live on, I thought, well, I could, if I could teach at a university, that would be great. My parents have always enjoyed music, but they are not professional musicians. And my dad was more open to that. My mom was not particularly thrilled about that, because she was like, well, how are you going to make a living? So that was their concern, especially with classical music. I think these days some piano teachers like to give students pop and jazz, that sort of pieces, just to inspire their interest, but that wasn't my experience. I've always played classical. I really don't remember, an audience where I didn't feel like they appreciate. I mean, sometimes some audience are more reserved. They don't necessarily show you that oh, I love it or anything, but I have never seen an audience that looked like, oh, I hated that music, or anything like that. So I'm very lucky in that sense.
Now you have seen what it means for Holy Trinity Church here in Coventry to get a new organ. To find out about future recitals, go to icov.co.uk. For now, I have been Alexandra Ganushko reporting for iCov News.